Hello YouTube. Okay, so we'll be doing blueprint today while we're waiting for TryHackMe's new challenge. I'm not sure if it's out, but I didn't do task 10. Like I didn't record the video for 10 because it was pretty basic. So um, oh, I see it's out. So maybe after this video we'll quickly take on this patch management stuff and see how that's going to be cool. So we've got blueprints. I think it's a Windows room, and we are expected to grab NTLM hash decrypted, then the root flag. Okay, so we have the machine running already, and we've done a bit of scans to save some time, so I'll just walk you through what we've done. Here is Legion doing some bad boy stuff. From the start, we passed the host, then we ran that. I'm skipping all this. Here we found a couple of good TCP ports that are open, and the services as well as the versions of the services. Well, we found this MariaDB thing here, so which means there's a DB. We found on port 443, port 80, port 8080, Apache, and the others are pretty much cool stuff. NetBIOS, not to overlook that. Alright, cool. So we also blueprints found the UDP, still the NetBIOS thing happening on that port 137 UDP. Then doing some web app stuff all around here, trying an exploit that didn't work. So okay, then still looking around stuff. Doing some hunting, and I guess I found a few things that are good use, but not at the moment. Okay, then still there hunt on port 8080. Then we started seeing some cool stuff. At first I tried this echo pretty cheat and to run on exploits from exploit DB, that didn't work. Then try the curl as well. This is pretty much an intuitive tool. Then tried their search. Now we found these stuffs we'd seen earlier as well, but somewhere below we started seeing some useful stuff. So it's trying this Apache legacy. I think we have a video in our YouTube channel, this Apache legacy directory traversal stuff. Alright, then started looking into the ports and map, doing some analysis and showing us a few stuff that are of importance, but not at the moment. But at this point we started seeing useful stuff. So we found this, we quickly went there, and we found something that looks not this. I think I'm just going to copy that, and so I can show you what I found there. I'll copy this and I'm going to paste it here. So let's go there. Alright, so we found this cool stuff, eShop, and played around all this clicky, but there was pretty much nothing important there for me. Then I took this complete path and did some their search, advanced scan, looking at specifics, what I can find. You can see here I'm looking for the extension PHP CGI, TXT, HTML, exe, then also excluding these messages, HTTP messages, HTML messages, sorry. Then we found the admin. We couldn't reach that. We found the install, which we can reach. Then we also found this, we could reach this as well, and some other cool stuff, or cool stuffs. Alright, so I'm gonna leave you to tinker around all that, what you can do with it. Okay, so what we did pretty much, we used search exploits. Just gonna go up, search for this, and we found these exploits. So we used exploits like if you look at that command there, to pull both of them down, the ones that have arbitrary file upload and for remote code execution. We more or less will be trying both of them out. So what we're going to do now is we're going to make some modifications to that specific one which we want to try at first, which is that 4.4. So what we're going to do is over here, our specific version which we had verified is version 2.3.4, not the 1. So we're going to remove that, and as well as we're going to remove this. Then I think we will pass the IP address. I wrote the IP address to a host file, so that's why you're seeing that in the teacher blueprint, the teacher. So I'm just going to copy the IP address, and I'm going to, I think I have it in my clipboard. Just give me a second. I'll paste this here so I can come in here and replace that with what is here. So I'm going to paste that IP here, and that looks pretty much what we wanted, because remember, we have to map this to our IP, the IP address of the target which we're trying to go reach. If not, we might have problems running that thing. So I think this looks pretty fine. I'm just going to remove one of that, the base URL. Then for the target URL, it's going to be the same. I'm going to paste this here. Don't forget the 8080, if not it won't work also. Passing that port 8080. Okay, that looks pretty much fine. I will be also tempted to make a slight modification to the payload later on, because I had verified that the system process is not running. So I'm going to use the shell exec, but I'll just leave it the way it is at the moment, just to do a proof of concept. So I'm going to write this out and exit this. So what we're going to try to do is use Python to run this. So we'll run Python 4.4. Let's see if we get something. Okay, that worked pretty fine, and we can see it gave us a link pretty much. We're going to copy this link and browse to that link, and a little bit of okay, that works fine. I'm going to copy this link and I'm going to browse to this link just to verify we can see that it's running, because maybe if I view page source, okay, basically there's nothing there, but just to verify that exploit is running, we can see the way it threw that back at us. So what we need to do at this point, I'm sure this is breaking because of that system which we saw there, but we will change that later, because it's not enabled. That's why this is not giving us what we expect. We can see definitely telling us that the system has been disabled for security reasons. Okay, so I'm going to try maybe make a few more changes. I'm going to change this at the fly. Just I want to show you guys what I was talking about. So since we verified the system has been disabled for security reasons, maybe I'll leave a link to where you can find other processes which we can use to make this thing work. I'm going to use echo, then we'll use shell exec. Then let's use this to run. Maybe we'll run a dir command, since we verified this to be a Windows host. I'm going to write this out. Then I'm going to run this again and take this link, paste that in here. Let's just see if it runs this time. So you look at this time around it ran to verify. You can see if I view page source, I can see that dir command executed successfully without throwing errors as in the initial case, which we had seen that system process not running. Okay, just wanted to show you guys this before we go ahead with the payload. Okay, so this is our PHP payload which we're going to be using. So I'm going to take this more or less, put in the clipboard, then come here and create a file, nano shell.php. So I can paste this PHP in there and just make it slight, make some changes, change this IP address to my own IP of this box that I'm using. Open a new tab, IP ADDR. So I'm just 10. Okay, this is me. I'm just going to take this. Okay. Then I'll replace that with what we have here. Then I'll also change the ports. Paste that in here. Then I'll change the ports. I'm just going to use 445, 446. I hope nothing misses in that port. Then I think this should look pretty fine. Just a PHP payload. I will leave a link to where you can actually grab this PHP payload just so you can follow suit. But I think I'm going to make one last change. If you remember, we had verified that system is not in there, so I'm going to just change this to shell exec, which we had used, and all looks pretty good. I'm going to write this out, then exit this. So we got our payload there now. So what we're going to do is we're going to do two things. One, we'll make some modifications to this initial, sorry, I didn't realize I had to run that again. We'll make some modifications to this. What we want to do is this time around, we won't be echoing just dir. We'll be using searchutil. We know searchutil, it comes pre-installed in basically most Windows. We use searchutil to download that payload which we had dropped there. 3.m HTTP server here, because I want to sorry, I'm staging a HTTP server here. Okay, I think I'm going to use port 80. Port 80 seems to be busy at this moment, I'm sure. Okay, so I'm just going to run that on the default ports, no qualms. Okay, great. So going over here, we're going to use searchutil to actually download the file URL catch. Then what we'll pass is pass that like FHTTP. This should be our IP address. I'm just going to open a new tab. IP ADDR. Take this IP address. Go back in here. So we're going to this IP address on the port 8000 based on what we had set. Then we want to download that file. What do we call the file? I'm just going to do a quick verification. Give me a second. Shell.php. So let's go after the file shell.php. Then we're going to write it out as shell.php. That looks pretty fine. If all things go well, we should be able to use searchutil to grab that file, and we'll now call the file, set up a listener to catch a reverse shell. So I'm going to write this out and exit this. So what we're going to do is we're going to run that payload again, and we got a link as usual. So we'll copy this link, go over to our browser, paste this in here. Then just to show, I'm going to go to where the Python server is. Let's see if we get a hit if I click enter on this. So I'm going to wait for that thing, see if I get a hit on my Python server. If I do get a hit, then it means it's okay, great, so it's downloading it. That's a good sign. If it's done based on the URL catch, we should be able to see excellent. I just want to see the search catch completed successfully. So based on the URL catch rates you're set, so we see that downloaded successfully. It's cards 1446. Okay, listening. Then remember we had downloaded that, so to execute it, so we can get a reverse shell, we call this shell.php. So let's execute our shell. If all things being equal, as you can see, we got that, we caught the shell. So dir arrow in here, we can basically see we are in that server. There seems to be some Amazon stuff going on here. So the first thing we want to do is try to maybe find the root flag before we can probably bring in Mimikatz to use it to do some stuff. So why we're able to do this, we enter authority, so that's more like at the highest level at this point in time. So in the admin desktop, we can see that roots.text.text. We can type the content of that file and grab this and go submit in the panel. Over here, I'm going to stage my Python server again. Then I'm going to come here. If that is completed, see it's still trying to populate. Okay, great, it's done. We see it's Windows 7 Home Basic, and we can see a little bit of details about the build. URL catch. We want to use it to download this HTTP. Remember, we'll have to go for our IP address. I'm not sure what it is. I'm just going to go copy it here. Okay. Then I'll bring that here and paste it in here. So we're going for the port 8000, and we want to go for specific the file mimikatz.exe. Then we're going to write it out as mimikatz.exe. If no AV, trying to maybe check out stuff, you should be able to download that file. Search util doing its magic. Let's go look up our Python server if we get any hits yet. Okay, we got that hits. Basically, that's some good news. So we should have search util in mimikatz.exe in there. So we're just going to execute Mimikatz basically to do its magic. Then we can now try to see if we can just take advantage of that to dump some stuff. So let's run mimikatz.exe. Okay, that ran pretty fine. LSA dump. We're going to dump some so we can grab the answer to the second part of the question. If that's not going to crash at us, we should have the NTLM hash. So the NTLM hash, we can see the SAM key, some useful stuff. Administrator. Did they ask for administrator? Let's just go verify. Okay, the lab user. So the lab user NTLM hash is right here. Okay, so the final part of the challenge will be to decrypt the hash. So let's go try that out. We got the hash over here. I'm just going to copy. I'm just going to cut it. Then I'll use crack station and paste this in here. Verify we're not robots. If all things go pretty smooth, I think we're not robots. Okay, so crack the hash, and that's the decrypted hash. Google Plus. What a cool password. All right, so let's paste that over here, and we submit this and this, and everybody looks happy. Okay. Anyways, that will be it for this video. We've been able to answer all the questions. Now, with Mimikatz, there are a bunch of other stuffs you can do, trust me, but I won't be covering all that here. Maybe we might do some recording with Mimikatz and show some cool stuff, doing some cable roasting tickets, granting tickets, some golden tickets, silver ticket, and all this fun stuff. Okay, thanks for your time, and see you in the next recording.